Derek would like to go first. Right, there we are. Would you like to speak from there? Would you like to sit down?
Well, first of all, may I say what an enormous privilege it is to be receiving this award when the triumph that we achieved was the product of so much work by a lot of other people. I mean, you've been working away at it for all your lives, and we come along at the end and we managed to snap the right moment. And I have to say that we did get some cooperation from the government. I mean, in our house, Kay Andrews, I don't know what her beliefs are, but she was extremely cooperative in the end. And we owe a lot to the government's conversion to the idea of abolishing blasphemy, because when it's been tried before, they've not been sympathetic. When I first started, in late 1994, I introduced a bill to abolish blasphemy. It was voted down at second reading, which is wholly exceptional in our house. I mean, they're very polite. They let bills go through and then they massacre them when they get into the committee. But the bishops and the extreme Christians got together to vote down that first bill in the beginning of 1995. And they would have done the same for the next bill that I introduced in 2002 if we hadn't had the idea of sending it to a select committee, where arguments raged for a whole year on not only blasphemy but all other religious offences. And at the end of that year, they came to no conclusions but reported back to the House so that there wasn't a bill as a result of it. And in another criminal justice bill before the last one, we had a go and we were defeated then, but finally in 2007, 2008, we managed to get the bill through, the vote through in both houses. And I must say, it was an unexpected triumph because we'd had so many defeats before. But can I also say thank you to the Society for the wonderful presentation that we had on the Wilberforce argument, which I enjoyed enormously. It was particularly thrilling to me because Down, where Darwin lived, was my home. I was brought up there. When I was in the Commons, I represented the constituency which contains the village of Down, where Darwin lived at the time when he brought out The Origin of Species. My grandfather was one of his great supporters and was a member of the X Club with Huxley. And when Darwin refrained from attending the village church in Down because the vicar was preaching against the origin of species, my grandfather supported him by abandoning the church and transferring his affections to the neighbouring village of Farnborough. He was not an atheist, my grandfather. At least I don't think he was, because he was too conventional for that. And in fact, when Darwin died, my grandfather was instrumental in having him buried in Westminster Abbey, which I think is a little bit incongruous. And you may think it even more incongruous that at the bicentenary next week, the London Borough of Bromley is celebrating by holding a service in the village church in Down, where the vicar preached against the origin of species. I think they must have a sense of humour in the mayor's office in the London Borough of Bromley. And needless to say, we won't be attending. So thank you very much, Keith. Thank you for everything that the National Secular Society has done, and thank you particularly for the undeserved honour of this great award.